For more than a year, we have seen pro-Hamas student groups terrorize Jewish students on college campuses. Groups like SJP, Students for Justice in Palestine, have been allowed to cause violence and make threats with impunity. But now Jewish students and Jewish leaders are being investigated. It started with the group Betar, which fights anti-Semitism. Betar made a post to Instagram on their stories that was recruiting for its organization. Now, Meta has banned Betar really for a post that was intended to be satirical. It was a joke. Okay, I want you to see the post. Was this, okay? Mind you, this was to the story. It says, Betar is recruiting tomorrow in Pittsburgh. Please join us on campus tomorrow if you are a student or not on campus midday. SJP Pitt, our director, looks forward to giving you a beeper. That was a joke. SJP Pitt called this a bomb threat on social media, made a formal complaint, immediately sparking police investigations of Jewish students, rabbis, and community leaders in the University of the Pittsburgh area. Meta, again, has suspended Betar accounts, preventing it from organizing or raising funds. Now, joining me now is Ross Glick. He is the Executive Director of Betar USA. Ross, good to see you. So what I'm understanding here is what started as a post on stories, which disappears in 24 hours, has now turned into this police investigation. Meanwhile, since October 7th, we saw SJP organizations on college campuses nationwide terrorizing Jewish students. What's going on?
Well, it's clear there's a system of two-tier censorship, two-tier policing. And from our perspective, it was an obvious joke, right? It does have symbolism. It was aggressive. We were looking to get the attention of SJP, but in no way, shape, or form was it an actual threat. It is political satire in our view. And if measured in that context, it's just unfathomable that the police and the university and those in power are not, evaluating the messaging from SJP and like organizations over the past year, which in their messaging and their symbolism with their red triangles and their chants for intifada, globalize the intifada, death to Zionists, they actually mean that. Those are actual real threats. They would like to see those threats carried out. Are they actually doing it? We don't know, but they certainly mean it. And they've been promoting this physically on campus, off campus, on social media. And, on a simple level, the reaction to what is an obvious joke, even though, it is, quite aggressive, the hypocrisy is just palpable.
Well, yeah, you guys were referring to the beeper situation in Lebanon. When those beepers went off, obviously it was, something that was, done by Israel, but they're taking this really seriously, as if this was, you mentioning a beeper is now somehow a bomb threat. I mean, do you feel like there's a double standard here? I mean, you said yes, but also I want to remind our viewers that last year, Governor DeSantis directed state universities to ban SJP on campuses and deactivate their chapters. Also, Brandeis University in Massachusetts, they followed suit, becoming the first private school to ban them. Wait, let me mention Columbia and Rutgers suspended its SJP chapters after lots of violence and threats. So why is there still an SJP chapter at Pitt?
Yeah, and NYU and many others that are sanctioned by the university. And our position is we're not against free speech. SJP has every right, like every other organization in this country, to espouse whatever hatred that they want or love or whatever it is that they want to support. Off campus, they can rent a theater, they can go to a park, no problem for me. But as a sanctioned organization, promoting a false narrative, promoting blood libels, promoting hatred for Zionists, which are pretty much every Jew, right? In one form or is not a political movement. And, for any Jew in any campus to express that and then to be called, a baby killer, a genocider, and for these open chants of death to Zionists with these red triangles being posted all over and vandalizing Jewish fraternities and Jewish businesses, there's definitely a hypocrisy. There's a double standard. And again, our presentation of the beeper joke is overt. It's not clandestine. We're not hiding it. There's clearly no threat, right? It's an insane reaction. Not that we don't expect it from SJP, of course, but the way that the university and the police department, if that's their measurement, taking it as a serious bomb threat or as a threat, which but by their standard is a double.
Let me ask you this. So who is being investigated? So this post gets put up on the stories. All of a sudden, now Betar is suspended from Meta as well, which is ridiculous. And then the investigations start.
And let me also, yeah, so what's also crazy about this, we've made the post on a Monday. I arrived in Pittsburgh on a Thursday. There was not one communication, not one word said between Monday and Thursday of the post. There was a story up for an hour. When I arrived in Pittsburgh at the off-campus meeting, there still was no communication from anybody, but it appeared that multiple students and a local rabbi and others were called by multiple people from the university, from the Pitt police, from the Pittsburgh Police Department, saying that they're taking this very seriously. But at no time did anybody contact me or the other executives at Betar, which all of our information is public. We are not a clandestine organization. We are open. We are overt. We are proud Zionists, and we are fighting back against this raging anti-Semitism being fomented on campus by SJP.
Ross, this isn't just about this incident, okay? What is your call to action for our lawmakers? I mean, the fact that SJP can go unchecked and do what they do, and then, Jewish accounts are so quick to be taken down on Meta. That's a whole different thing. There's got to be, what's your call to action? There's got to be something bigger.
Well, yeah, I think there's two things from our perspective. One, SJP should not be an accredited student-sanctioned organization receiving funding, protection, and I guess enabling that horrible false narrative. So that's the first thing. SJP can exist, no problem, but it should not be a university-sanctioned organization. So that's our first demand. The second demand, if any members of SJP are in this country on a visa and they are not a citizen, in our view, they should close your mouth, be a student, be a good guest in our country, or go home.
What about your call to action to lawmakers, especially with this incident now?
Well, that's, I guess, called part and parcel. It's all part of the program.
Right.
I mean, we've been calling on, look, we started a petition months ago. We've been calling on lawmakers for years, and we're not the only ones, but clearly, over the past year, enabled by, the Biden-Harris administration, they've been feckless, right, if not complicit. So, God willing, with this change of administration, we're now going to see some action by federal and state lawmakers.
Ross Glick, thank you so much for joining us and for bringing my attention to this story. I think I'm shocked, but at the same time, I'm not. Like many people say, January 20th can't come soon enough. Good to see you, Ross. Thank you
So much.